morning. Welcome back for another garden tour. Today we're going to be touring the front yard and my little garden box here on the side. My previous tour was my backyard, so if you haven't seen that, go ahead and watch that. But today we're going to be talking all about the front yard. It's in the morning and I have my mic on, so hopefully you guys can hear me. If you're new here, my name is Laurie Jones and I live in northern Utah, gardening zone 7A. Before we look at the garden boxes, I just want to talk a little bit about this area because I've had some comments about people saying that all my garden beds are really narrow, and they are, and there was a purpose for that. So this one is pretty narrow. I do kind of want now to bring this one out further. We do have cement curbing that I get asked about a lot though as well, and so it's a little bit more expensive to do. When we first moved in here about 4 years ago, we really wanted to put in a pool here, but I think we've decided that we're not going to do that. We don't want the maintenance, we don't want the expense. While it's been really nice having this grass here, I think we want to keep a larger area of grass because once in a while I would like to rent my backyard out for wedding receptions because I think it's a nice place for that. We'll see how much interest we get, but we are having one today. It's just a nice area, and that's pretty common in Utah for people to rent out people's backyards for wedding receptions. It's just kind of a thing in our area, so it is really nice. My other thing I want to do, hopefully this fall, is make this whole side a garden bed instead of just grass. We do have to have a 15 feet easement right here so the city can have access to the creek if they need to. So we do need to consider that, but probably starting about right here, I do want to come and just make a flower bed on this side, and that will open up so many more opportunities for us as far as plants go. I didn't show you our grapevine. Let me show you this real quick because it's looking so good this year. I pruned it probably like 3 times, just kind of grooming it and pruning it, and we have so many grapes. I mean, just a ton. And this is a borrowed grapevine. This is my neighbor's, but they don't care if we use the grapes on it, and they have grapes on their side and we have grapes on ours. I need to remember to research now to see if I need to thin these out because there's so many. I don't know, I'll probably just leave them. Last year, all the raccoons ate our grapes. We didn't have this many, but they came and just ate so many. But I watched some videos on how to prune the correct way, and we have so many more grapes this year. And I did fertilize the base with some holly tone that I put on there, and it's just doing so well. I came in also and pulled out a bunch of grapevines that were growing up in these trees. They were my neighbors, but on this side you could totally see it, and they were kind of growing from my side, and it looks so much better and cleaner. In fact, I did that the whole way down. Our pine tree had a bunch of that creeping Virginia all climbing up here. It's not really invasive. It's really nice to have on our fences actually, and it gives us beautiful color in the fall. And so I like having it on our fence, but that's also a borrowed plant, and it was just kind of suffocating that pine tree, so I came in and pulled all that out too the other day. So it looks really nice along this fence, so I just wanted to show that. And then let's take a look at the backyard, just a little peek. You can see the sun starting to come up, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful morning. But we're going to start here with the garden boxes and my hollyhocks. It's the first year I've had them. Last year I planted them as seeds and put them behind these dahlias, and the dahlias got really big, and so the plants only got probably 12 inches tall with a couple leaves on them. So I wasn't sure if they were going to bloom this year because they are biennial and they only bloom every other year, or their second year, I guess I should say. They did. So surprised, and they are so tall. I don't know, it's kind of hard for me to give you perspective here, but they're 12 feet tall. That one is for sure, and that one's maybe a little taller than that. They are so pretty. I'll put the name, I think it's like Indian Summer or something like that, and they're all just different shades of pink and then a little bit of white in there, and they're so pretty. First time I've ever grown hollyhocks. Here's a guy that's kind of coming out here, a little stray. I kind of like it hanging out here though. It makes you see the blooms, especially when the garden box is tucked back a little bit. But it's just so fun to have this plant. I'm not sure what my plans are going to be for this. I need to read up on it. I know that these can get kind of dead looking after they bloom, so I'll want to cut them back, but I'll do a little research on that. But it's so fun. I've loved it, and I've loved the height here. This area definitely needs things that are tall, so I'm gonna have to do some research on what I want to put back here. I also do have big tall T-posts in here to help them. We had a lot of wind and that has really helped keep them up. That's why they're kind of pulled this way, but I'd rather have them pulled that way than falling. It's nice to have that support. I just tied some twine in front of them to keep them away from these dahlias also. So I cut these back because they were getting kind of big and they had a flush of blooms. You can kind of see them. These are the Mystic Illusion Dahlia. They came back for me this year. I planted them last year. This is a Proven Winners plant, and I love the dark foliage with the bright yellow. It's so, so pretty. And then in front of these, I have some Potomac Cherry Snapdragons, and let's see what else. And Madame Butterfly Rose all in here. And then we also have the Potomac Lavender in the front. So all those kind of cherry rose in the back. So that should be fun. They're just starting to bloom. I kind of wish they were blooming for today, but it's taken them a while to get going. But they're looking really good. They've had a little issues with chlorosis. I'm gonna come throw some iron in here this morning. My Roma tomatoes are filling in really nicely. I have come in here, and anytime you have a V, you wanna like pinch this off. I do want to get this a little large. I'm not a tomato expert by any means, but I'm just telling you what I do. So yeah, so there's a V here. So I'm gonna break this leaf off, and you'll get more tomatoes that way, and you won't use a lot of energy growing foliage for your plants. So I'm gonna break this one off too. So I've been doing that. Now that it's gotten taller, I think that will be good. I want it to get a little taller. At least that's what I think I should do, but that's what I do every year, and I get a ton of tomatoes. I love to make salsa. You can see we have some down here. These are the Roma 3 tomatoes. So that's really fun. The only vegetables I really grow are tomatoes because I like to make salsa. I also threw in some grape punch, Calicobra in here. This is Super Bells from Proven Winners, and I hope they do well. It does stay a little moist in here, but I'm hoping in the front here by the sun they'll do just fine. But I wanted a little bit of purple brought in here, and I kind of missed having something that was kind of growing over the edge here of the box. My dahlias are getting quite big. I have a few different supports that I have just tucked in. I haven't tied anything to it yet. I just wanted to get the posts in, and that I'm trying out this as well. I need to come spray paint this black or put the black twine in today. Probably do that this morning to make it look a little better. I spray painted this black and it essentially disappears, so this looks too messy for me. So I'll come fix that. But my dahlias are all growing up very quickly now that it's warmed up, and I'll have a ton of varieties to show you guys. This is my pineapple tomato. It's really starting to fill in now. This one took a while to get going. These are supposed to be a little sweeter, and it's an heirloom tomato. I like to get at least one heirloom tomato. And then my marigolds. I love to have marigolds in the garden, and I love the orange ones. I always go for the orange. And then here's some more dahlias. I have some all along this row. And then these snapdragons that I started from seed in March are just surprising me. These are the Chantilly Lace snapdragons, and they're group 1 to 2, and they're still just going. I thought they would fizzle out in the heat, but we've had 90-degree days, a couple 100-degree days, and they're just still going and going. So I need to make sure to come in and trim some of these, because it'll definitely give you more blooms, as you see here. So they're just so beautiful. I've cut some and brought some in the house, and they've been so fun to have. In fact, I'm going to snap these off right now because these ones are done. And then I'll pick this up later. I'm going to make sure the yard looks really good. And then I've had this dahlia in here for 3 years, so it got pretty big. And these will cover the AC units, which will be really nice too. I like to have something tall here. I used to have strawberries here, but after their 3rd year, I pulled them out, and I want to keep doing dahlias in here. They're just really pretty. But yeah, you can see I have one baby one that It's just not quite getting enough sun. But look, this one's starting to open up and I can't wait to see them. Some of these are going to be smaller versions, I guess. I probably should have checked the height, but I thought all the specialty ones were really tall, so we'll see. Anyway, lots of pretty dahlias to see in the future. And then the raspberries are doing really good. I came in here and gave it some fertilizer, and these do kind of get chlorotic. You can see how these are lighter than these. I came in here and gave them some fertilizer that had some iron, so they're starting to fill in a little more green. All these were pretty light, so they're looking pretty good. Just a few that maybe need a little bit more. You can really see it with the veining right here. So I'll probably throw in a little bit more when I get back in town. This area is really fun. My flowers are done with their flush. Don't mind my little gas meter. We all have one. That's mine. And when the flowers get cut back, you can really see it. But I kind of got tired of daisies. And these are Shasta daisies, and I like them a little bit more because they're not quite as tall and they look a little tighter and neater. I was thinking I might take these out and just put in this lavender that I just planted, but then I was like, I actually really love that these bloom. I didn't think about that in between my roses. So when my roses are lulling, then I'll have something in here. So I left these in. I think they're in good spots. This one's a little tight to this Gabriel Oak Rose, but overall they're pretty good. But I have planted some lavender in here, and this is a Sweet Romance lavender from Proven Winners. It's almost done with its bloom right now, but it'll rebloom and rebloom. So it's not quite as vibrant as it usually is, but that's just what that needed, was just a little pop of purple here in the front. And when the sun's shining on it, it's really bright and purple, and I just absolutely love it. Okay, it's really fun to see the blue Skywalker Veronica right here popping up, and with this blue, it looks really pretty too. I like kind of the repetition up there. And then these salvia were tucked behind my roses. They weren't doing that well. They kind of got hit by bugs. And I just transplanted them here, and we'll see how they do here in this spot. And if they make it, we'll find out. I troubleshooted this area, and it was getting watered twice with the sprinklers I found. And so we remedied that. So hopefully I can start planting some plants all in here. Need to do some research on what to pick for this spot. We have this bed here with our Kwanzan cherry, which is done with its bloom cycle. This area got hit with spider mites pretty hard. The lamium, you can see, is recovering. But yeah, it got hit pretty hard. And this rose, I did come in and spray that with Captain Jack's, and this has had its flush. We're starting to get a few more buds in on this rose. This is a Eustacia Vi. And then this one's just opening up. I'm gonna have to film it later today, because this one is Emily Bronte, and hopefully this bud, it looks okay. Some of these first opening up on these first year roses are looking a little, I don't know, like I've got thrips or something. I'm not sure, but really pretty color. These are all kind of light peach, pinky colors here. My Coreopsis, my thread leaf Coreopsis is getting ready to bloom, which will be really fun to have more color in here. Eventually, I think I want all kind of pink roses in here. This gets attacked with aphids every year. So I kind of want to get that out of there. We'll see. I do have another rose here that I planted as a bare root. Took forever to get going, but it finally has some buds, which is exciting. And this is Sceptered Isle. Really, really excited about this one. And then I also planted in some annual salvia, which is going to be really pretty once it gets going. Those take a little while to get going. Okay, let's go up here to the front bed. We planted some Mizu and some alyssum in here. I started this alyssum from seed, and it's starting to kind of fill in a little bit more. It takes a while, but once it gets going, it really fills in. I wanted some things to fill in this spot. I still need to troubleshoot this spot and find out what I'm planting here. We have some grass here, some that has died out. Not doing very well this year. This is kind of one of my troublesome spots that I need to figure out. But things over here are looking really nice. I have my white, what's this called? Angel Face White. Angelonia from Proven Winners. It's a summer snapdragon. It's like a hybrid snapdragon, and they do so well in the full sun, and I just absolutely love them. This is 2 plants, so it's gotten quite big. It'll get even bigger. And then I paired that with the new Tiara Pink Supertunia. I wanted just pink and white up front, and so it's been really, really nice. And then most of my base flowers have purple, so I've got purple, white, and pink going on up here. And I love that combo, and I like that it's really simple in the front yard this year. These comb flowers are starting to bloom, and look how pretty. Oh, love them. And the pink is just perfect right here, and it matches really nice to this Tiara Pink. These Tiara Pink are so pretty. They're really starting to grow quickly now that it's warmed up. And I love the white around their throat. So, so beautiful. This is a little more subtle than the Tiara Blue, and I think it's just the fact that the color's not quite as saturated. And so I do like that a little bit better. I like the glow rather than just like the bright white circle in the Tiara Blue. While I love the Tiara Blue, I think this is my favorite. It does send out these long shoots, which is kind of crazy. And I have a feeling that it's gonna fill in pretty well in these spots. I love having purple as a base in my garden, especially this kind of icy purple, because I feel like it goes with any color. It goes with red, it goes with coral, any of those warm tones, and it also goes really well with cool tones. And so I love having that as a base, and then it'll just go with anything. Lavender's blooming. And then in here I have more of the Tiara Pink with the white, looking really, really nice. And I didn't intend to have so much white. Oh, and let me show you this companion. I have this in the back too. I'll try to put the name on the screen, but it's one that I've had in here since we moved in. It doesn't get as big here in the front because it's in part shade. In the back where we have sun, it's gotten quite large, but it's one of my favorite plants. I love it so, so much. And once again, I love that kind of icy purple. My Japanese maple is doing really, really well. I did limit up a little bit just to let these plants all breathe in here. And I think it's gonna be perfect in this corner. I can't wait till it gets bigger. It's gonna take a while, but I will be patient. And then I didn't intend to leave in these pansies, but they're still looking really good, so I did. I meant to just have all pink in front. So eventually I will pull these out. We'll see, I might leave them. Because they'll probably last here a little longer, even into next year. But I intended just to have the Tiara Pink in the front and then these Angelonia in the back. And they're taking a little while because this is kind of this really only gets afternoon sun for like 3 or 4 hours. So they are a little bit slow, but they're starting to bloom here. But I just wanted those taller ones in the back, and they do get pretty tall. They're absolutely gorgeous. I love them. And then I have some Nepeta in here that had a beautiful show in the spring, and they've gotten a good size this 3rd year. They've done really great, especially in an area where they don't get 6 hours of sun a day, but really, really pretty. Love Nepeta, one of my favorite, or Nepeta. I've heard it pronounced both ways. And then these are yew bushes that I absolutely love. I love keeping them a little natural looking, so I just come in here and just cut different branches selectively, and that allows light to get into the bottom so it never gets kind of woody, and I just absolutely love them here, and hopefully they'll get a little taller soon and cover up this little edge here. The porch is looking pretty nice. We got our flag up for the 4th of July coming here pretty soon. And yeah, I want to get simple, just green wreaths on the door. I haven't done that yet, but those are kind of my spring wreaths. I want something more simple and bright green. And one of my favorite plants is Mizu. I love how it just trails over your pots. It's just so gorgeous. And the salvia in the back, I knew it would be kind of tall in there, but I didn't care. I liked it. This is starting to fill in. It does kind of reach for the sun out this way because it only gets sun in the late afternoon, but they still look really pretty. This is kind of a hard spot for pots because they don't get a ton of sun. And then we have in here some Gomphrena added. This is the Proven Winners Gomphrena. It's a little more area than the Monrovia one. Love them both for different reasons. And then some more salvia. And same thing, the Mini Vista White. The Bacopa, which I find really lulls a lot with its blooms, but that's okay. I like the green hanging down. And then the Mizu, which is starting to trail. Look how pretty that is. Just love the brightness that it adds. What a pretty combination. This has seen better days. It got scorched when we were out of town and now it's kind of fuzzy. I don't know. I think I'm giving up having real topiaries up here. It's just too much work. Probably not going to do that anymore. And then here's just a simple mini Vista White in this little pot, just to balance things out on this side. And I know my mat's not centered. I really liked this mat because it's floral, but people were kind of tripping on it because it's a little thicker, and so I scooted it over more that way. I know it's not centered, but it's just safer. And yeah, I'll probably throw my welcome mat back on here that's really large, just because it does bother me a little bit, but then sometimes I'm like, I don't really care. So that's that. And then these are filling in so nicely. I'll tell you the name. I think it's Lovey Dovey or something like that of this one, but I absolutely love it. I was just going to do all white in here and the New Look Dusty Miller. Love this so much. But I decided to do pink, and I'm so glad I did. And I would never do super tunis in here because I only have a small planting area under these boxwoods, and it would just overtake it and be too large. And so I love the Calicobras here, and this does dry out every day because it's in the hot sun against the wall, and these do like to dry out, so you can see it's pretty dry. I need to water this morning, but everything just looks really happy. And I love doing Calicobras in these pots. And then here's another one. Let's get the tag and make sure I'm saying that right. Love Swept. This is Love Swept. So pretty. And same thing here. My hibiscus, I'll put the name on the screen. I cannot remember what it is, but I love the dark foliage of this one. It's gorgeous. And then it has white flowers that bloom from like July to August, or like late July. And then in here, things are starting to really bloom and bud out. You get a different view. The sun's out now, so it might be a little harder. But we have the Luminary Opalescence Phlox here. One of my favorites starting to bloom, and I love the height back here. I had rearranged a bunch of things, and that boxwood's not doing that great after all the rearranging. I might have to pull it out. And then we have some more of the Veronica here that kind of matches here. I really like this front garden bed to be repetitive. And then some more Tiara Pink in the front. My Limelight hydrangeas are gonna start budding out here quickly. Those are one of my favorites too. And that color combination is gonna be really nice. I have some more Limelights over here, and they're really tall this year. This is the third year, so I'll show you that. Then we have some daylilies in here. I think these are the peach. I planted some peach and some lime, and they're both really, really pretty. Some campanula here, and then we have the spirea here, balanced both sides of this lilac, and my daisies are blooming, so that's really fun. I love them behind that rock, just kind of creeping over the rock. And yeah, it's starting to look really, really pretty. Love the pink with that purple. And then once these panicle hydrangeas start to bloom, they're gonna be so pretty. Look how tall they've gotten this year. I'm super excited about that. Oh, so excited. These ones are a little newer. I planted them last year, so they're a little smaller. So that's this garden bed. Love it, love it. And then this isn't too different from last time. I do have a few blooms of my Olivia. It's struggling a little bit because I transplanted this, moved it from another area, but you can kind of see how beautiful this is. One of my favorite roses. Really love the light pink. And some Ajuga. Yeah, not too exciting over here right now. So I hope you guys enjoyed that tour. It's kind of always a quick front yard tour, but you can see the flowers are starting to fill in, and I can't wait for next tour in July because things are just going to be really, really blooming. So thanks so much for joining me, and we'll see you next time. Bye guys.